If you're a junior developer and you're considering what it might be like to be a senior developer, you might be surprised to know that senior developers don't actually have it much easier than you do as a junior. You have a different set of challenges than a senior does. I have an article that I'd like to review because I think this article does a really good job of nailing what it's like to be a junior developer, see what a senior developer does, falsehoods junior developers believe about becoming senior. Now, I'm not going to read everything in here. These are mostly my thoughts, the author's thoughts, about what I was expecting as a junior and how I perceived senior developers. To be honest, I was romanticizing them quite a bit. Senior developers were the people who could solve all the problems, constantly told me what to do, and knew all the answers. It's easy to fall prey to the fantasy that climbing the ranks will somehow bestow upon us a magical cloak of knowledge, authority, and ease. So what ends up happening, I think if I was to summarize this first portion, is the senior developer doesn't have all the answers because they remember specific problems and specific answers. The difference here that the author is going to bring out is that there are principles you learn along the way. You understand the patterns of those principles as you get more experience and tackle a variety of different problems. And as you do that, your ability to tackle more variety expands. So having all the answers, expectation, I will be able to solve all the bugs and know what's wrong in a matter of minutes. Reality, the more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. Let's figure this out together. And I can tell you for a fact, senior developers look up stuff that should be common. You have to go back to your roots sometimes. The trick here is knowing when you have to do that. So like the author says, it's a misrepresentation of what it takes to grow. And we'll go over these 3 points. Your ability to work with uncertainty, ask the right questions to get you where you need to be in terms of understanding, knowing how to find a solution once you have the understanding. For example, you might not remember a particular idiosyncrasy or quirk of a programming language. It might be that you actually do know, but you have simply forgotten it. So the understanding is, I have forgotten this thing. The solution is, I must now go look up what this thing is. You can see that when you understand what problem you're facing, as you get more experience, that understanding becomes clear and it happens faster. And then your ability to go find the solution also is more clear and happens faster. Working with the latest tech, expectation. As a senior, I'll get to play with the latest tech and build amazing projects. This legacy code isn't going anywhere, and neither am I. Let's fix some bugs that happens once every full moon. Many junior devs dream of working exclusively with the latest and greatest, and what really happens is you get bogged down by a ton of things that come with working at an actual job with actual customers and real requirements. The reality of a developer, especially at a senior level, I would argue you're almost more like targeted towards the hot problems. This is why I was just talking about the difference between what a junior developer might do and a senior developer might do. Expectation. Being senior means I can avoid all the boring tasks. Reality. Endless meetings, documentation, and code reviews. Oh, and did I mention debugging legacy systems on Friday at 6 p.m.? Yeah, all of these things are true. Now, granted, you might be able to escape some of these things, but generally speaking, throughout your career, you'll hit every single one of these points. This is actually the key thing for senior developers. So now I'm going to switch into senior developer mode, not junior developer mode, but this is going to serve well any junior developer who wants to be a senior developer. The most important thing you can do is accept the fact that your work is not always going to be great, and you go and you do your best anyways. If you can be that senior developer and you just accept whatever comes your way and you're willing and prepared to tackle those things, you're going to go far. Making big changes. Expectation. Has a million ideas on how to change this company 180 degrees. Let's improve everything. Reality. Knows that nothing will change without management approval and the necessary budget. That is most often the case. This is more for senior developers, but one of the key things that you can do as a senior developer, learn how to communicate technical ideas to non-technical people, especially if you can put dollars behind it. If you can do that, then you can get buy-in for at least a reasonable amount of good ideas you have. It takes effort, and it means that you basically have to do someone else's job kind of for them, but it also means that you might make your job easy. So if you can go to someone in management or an executive and say, here are some dollars where if we do this thing, it translates to X dollars saved or X time saved or X clients happy or more clients or whatever it is, generally you're going to fare a lot better. And that gets easier as you're the more senior you become as a developer. Time to relax. Expectation. I'll make sure to have a perfect work-life balance once I'm senior. Reality: balancing deadlines, mentoring, and personal life is like juggling knives. Occasionally, one does get dropped. Yeah. And the author goes on to explain that workload doesn't necessarily decrease, it changes. So your commitments and the time you spend on particular things will change as also those commitments change, as also you become more senior. Now, life advice. Do you have a significant other that you love to the moon? Like Dogecoin? Make sure you're communicating a lot. The more you communicate with your significant other about what's going on with you at work and the time that you have to put into it and why, better off you're going to be able to maintain your relationship or relationships. So it could be with your kids, with other family members around you, whatever the case is, friends. Communication is probably the single most critical thing that you can learn in life, and that underpins this entire article and also everything you do from junior to senior. Life advice. You're welcome. Free of charge. Who am I kidding? You know, I had to learn that the hard way. Just 10 easy payments of $9.99.99, all right? Deciding what to do. Expectation. Once I become a senior, I will lead big projects, have a big impact, and tell others what to do. Reality. I miss the times when people told me what to do. Yeah, the nature of your work changes. And in a way, being told what to do can be nicer. You hearken back to those, sprinkle a little dream dust, you know, as a senior developer, and you harken back to the junior days when a senior came in and had problem solved for you and said, listen, junior, this is what you're gonna do today, all right? You've got 8 hours to get it done before you clock out. Go! And those were good days. Things change, and the more responsibility you take as a senior developer, the more things are going to end up on your plate in terms of decision making. So I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I have my links down below. I am on Twitch. If you want to interact with me, I stream almost daily. I try and stream as much as possible. See you later.